Why you must keep your eyes peeled when buying a used car/bike. Especially those with a modified or rebuilt engine. This is the engine of a Kawasaki Ninja ZX-4R. Let's see if the owner actually scored a bargain or got scammed. On the outside, it looks quite clean. Opening this cover, the inside looks pretty new as well. The ZX-4R hasn't been out for very long. The condition of the clutch and the clutch cable seems to be in very good shape. It gives the impression that the mileage on this bike isn't very high. At this point, I felt like I was taking it apart for nothing. Oh right, pay attention to this gear. This is the oil pump drive gear. For all you DIY enthusiasts out there, when you're replacing the clutch yourself, make sure you don't install it backwards. I've fixed several Ninja 400s before because of this. It was likely installed backwards, causing the oil pump to fail. The result is a seized bearing or cylinder. A seized cylinder head here is similar to the structure of a fan. So for those replacing their own clutch, please be very careful. Why did I feel like I dismantled it for nothing? Because everything looks normal from this view. So I checked with the owner again. The owner said the sound was off, and there was excessive vibration. Alright then. Since that's the case, we have to keep stripping it down. This is a newly purchased used bike. That's why when buying used, just looking at the appearance is not enough. Look at this oil seal. It's slightly damaged. I'll have to replace it later. The camshaft caps and such. Looking at them like this, there's no wear and tear. They can still be used normally. Let's check the camshaft. The camshaft material is forged alloy steel. And again, no signs of wear. Even if the camshaft is broken, don't worry. You can use parts from the Qianjiang SRK 400. The ZX-4R I fixed for someone before used the camshaft from an SRK 400. However, the coolant passages in the cylinder head are in different positions, so the cylinder head itself is not quite compatible. For the SRK 400, the layout of the accessories was modified the year before last. The entire cylinder head looks fine so far. Also, the valves area. Everything looks normal. Let's take a look at the cylinders. The cylinders also look fine. It's a ceramic-coated cylinder. I've mentioned this in previous teardown videos, so I won't go into detail here. The pistons are not forged. They are high silicon cast pistons. This is a Kawasaki characteristic. If these pistons are damaged, you can also use SRK 400 ones as replacements. That's why we should actually thank Qianjiang. You shouldn't always criticize them. For some existing models, if there were no Qianjiang parts available, the repair costs would be incredibly high. Unless, of course, you're a perfectionist. Qianjiang's issue isn't the part quality. It's the assembly. The water pump on the ZX-4R is integrated with the oil pump. I must remind all ZX-4R and Ninja 400 owners. This bike consumes oil very quickly. You must check the oil level frequently. Top it up in time. I've received many units, all because they didn't check the oil. They didn't realize the oil was low, and the lack of lubrication led to a spun bearing. Looking at the oil pan, there's no metal debris. Could it be that the owner actually found a good deal? Also, about this bike. Should you use 10W50 or 10W40 oil? The manual says to use 10W40. But there's a note below it. It basically says to adjust oil viscosity based on ambient temperature. Oil viscosity. For instance, in summer when road temps exceed 40 degrees. You can use 50 grade oil. For oil, you can use Shell Advance Ultra. It has reached the required racing grade. Even better, you can use Shell Rimula, natural gas. Alright, I found something. This crankcase has been aluminum welded. As for the crankshaft, it looks usable. And I don't see damage anywhere else. Looking at the welding spot. The connecting rod for cylinder 4 must have snapped before. And then they did a patch-up repair. Now let's check the main and counter shafts. The main shaft seems fine. Many ZX-4Rs have broken gear teeth. Since OEM gears are expensive, you can replace the entire transmission set with one from an SRK 400. Should we thank Qianjiang again? Hey, what is this thing that just fell out? A copper shim. This copper shim was wrapped around the countershaft bearing. Like this. It seems the crankcase issue is quite serious. Did the bearing seat wear out and become loose? Or maybe the chain was adjusted too tight before, causing the countershaft bearing to fail and chewing up this area? Let me zoom in for you guys. The marks are very obvious. Was the bearing wobbling after being installed? That's why they used this copper shim. Would you still dare to use a crankcase in this condition? I showed this to the owner, and he wants to replace it. But new ones are too expensive. Okay, let's keep looking. Check the cylinder 4 connecting rod. The rod bearing is fine. Now let's check the rod and bearing for cylinder 3. From here, there's nowhere either. It can still be used normally. Let's look at cylinder 2. Since it was repaired before, most of these connecting rods seem to be okay. Nowhere on this rod bearing either. So when you're buying a used bike, always find a reliable dealer or a trusted acquaintance. Now for cylinder 1. Looking at it this way, this connecting rod is also fine. I thought that at this point, we just need to replace the crankcase set. But when I took out the crankshaft journals indeed have no wear. But look at this spot on the crankshaft, it's been hit. And a piece of it even broke off. No wonder they said the vibration was loud. The dynamic balance has been destroyed. The owner will probably feel bad again when he sees this. Because this crankshaft isn't cheap either. A new one costs around $6,000. Let's look at the upper crankcase. The main bearings are all fine. The upper crankcase is okay too. Now for this crankshaft, he either makes do with it or replaces it. I asked around for a used set of crankcases for the owner. After seeing them, he said not to repair it yet. He wants to wait a bit. After all, parts for this bike are quite scarce right now. And they are expensive. The SRK 400 crankcase at the magneto position is a bit different, so I don't recommend using it. If you like the video, please give us a like. That's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. Looks like the owner failed to score a bargain. Once the owner finds the right parts, I'll post the assembly video for you all.